said that forgetfulness erodes faithfulness, and then you mentioned three things. You actually cite this. I'm not sure if it was a psychologist, psychiatrist: displacement, trace decay, and retrieval failure. Do you remember that in the book?
Yeah.
Where the forgetfulness erodes faithfulness. What does that mean?
You know, in the digital age, we're moving so fast, and again, it's an attention economy, and everything is trying to grab hold of our attention. That our feeds, our social media feeds, our news media feeds, they are constantly flooding our minds with new ideas, new concepts, new stories, all of that. And when that happens, memories go in a number of directions. That's where all of that retrieval failure and decay, all of those things sort of come from. And people could read the book and sort of, you know, get more of the details. But essentially, memory doesn't just happen, you know. There are certain cues, external cues, internal cues that are required to spark our memory. And it's one of the reasons why I think like the rhythms and rituals of Christian faith matter so much. It's one of the reasons why we gather regularly to sing songs. It's not just because, you know, it's a thing to do. It's actually in part a sort of communal resistance against all of the overload of information that tells us that the world is a particular thing and there's a particular way things are unfolding. We sing these songs and we sit under biblical teaching to remember over and over again, oh yeah, there is one king of the universe, and he has always been and will always be in control. And this whole thing is headed somewhere, despite what things look like right now. It's one of the reasons we do that, is to spark our memory, to remember there is a God who loves us, he's with us, and he's for us, and he's taking the story somewhere. And I talk a little bit in the book about the story of the Israelites in the wilderness. It's so interesting. You know, God tells Moses to go and speak to Pharaoh and free his people, and he does. And then the people of Israel leave Egypt, slavery in Egypt, and they are on their journey to the promised land. And in one chapter, the Egyptian armies are after them, and there's the Red Sea before them, and God does this incredible miracle, parts the Red Sea. They cross on dry land. The Egyptian armies come chasing after them, and then the waters come crumbling, crashing down on them, drowning the Egyptian enemy. And the people of God, they rejoice because God has clearly miraculously rescued them. And what they do is they sing a song. They sing a worship song to God. And then just a couple chapters later, you find the same people forgetting. They just sang a song about how God miraculously rescued them from the clutches of their enemy. And now they're like taking their gold earrings and crafting idols and worshiping these golden calves. How does that happen? It happens because they forgot. They just had bad memories. It's like, God just did this for you and you forgot. And that's what I mean. When there's like this overload of information, overload of like all that's wrong in the world and clickbait news and like, oh my gosh, we forget. No, God is still God. He's still in control. And we find ourselves worshiping at the altars of, you know, whatever it might be, politics or ideologies or media or whatever. And I think this is one of the reasons why, again, Christian practice and ritual and worship and being with the people of God and reading the scriptures and prayer, all those things are they're so critically important, because without them, we forget, and forgetfulness leads to idolatry.